Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, and welcome to the Kinda Late Night Podcast. I'm Kenji.
Welcome, I'm David.
And we're doing something a little different today. We are actually recording for the video pod.
Yes.
We started a YouTube channel
Yes.
at Kinda Late Night Pod. We'll put the links in the description down below. So if you want to actually see us record this podcast,
Go check out our YouTube channel.
you can.
That we just created.
Yes.
Because you can see us do our podcast.
So David, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Pinot Grigio. What are you drinking?
The same Pinot Grigio that you're drinking.
Awesome. Hey.
Yes.
Which
Cheers.
wedding?
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Okay. We love some Pinot.
Pinot.
David.
Mm-hmm.
I thought today we'd
David.
start out. David. Schitt's Creek, everyone. Schitt's Creek. I thought today we'd talk about relationships.
Yes.
And
dating
and everything in between.
Everything in between. Let's rock it. Let's go.
So I don't think you and I have ever had a conversation about like our dating histories, like full on. So this is going to be as much as a surprise for me as it is for everybody else.
It's going to be a surprise.
So I'm ready. Do you feel comfortable sharing your some of your past?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
yeah.
why I'm here.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable doing that too?
Yes.
Good. Well then let's go.
So I guess let's start off by kind of talking about like what does a relationship mean to you?
To me, a relationship is it's trust.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
It's loyalty. It's generosity. There's a lot that goes into it, honestly, but those are really three main ones for me.
Mm-hmm.
What about for you?
I feel like trust is a big one. I feel like a relationship means like a really intense like best friendship. I want to be best friends with this person. I want that person to be the first person I tell my good news to. Yeah, so I feel like there's trust, there's passion, there's friendship, there's respect, there's just the base level of like love. So yeah, that's kind of what it means for me. So I'm curious. Walk me through the David Medina dating history.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So kindergarten, no. Well, kind of. First grade. But I never really had any sort of relationship until I was in probably, I think it was 5th or 6th grade. And back then I was dating girls because that's what I thought I had to do. So anyway, I'm gay, everyone. So for those of you that didn't know, but yeah, so I was dating girls for a while when I was younger, and I think it was like 5th or 6th grade I started, and then all throughout high school, all the way up until I was a senior, I was dating girls. So
yeah,
I think every year I had a new girlfriend.
yeah.
And then after that, I started to kind of branch out and experiment in college because I started to kind of, find myself, and I wanted to just explore. And so that's when I really found what I was, into, and that's when I kind of came alive. And so so during college and all that, I started getting on dating apps, and then I started, finding guys locally and meeting up and having dates, and it was really a great time. Like I really, it made me really happy to actually be able to kind of fulfill something that I wasn't able to when I was younger.
Yeah.
So
how old were you say you were the first time you had like the first experience with like a man?
I think it was when I was like 22, 23, something like that. And so it was fulfilling, and it was I'm so happy for it. Obviously it came a little late in life, but that happens. That's life, and we move on, and we and I'm happy it happened regardless. So I don't want to be an old man, bitter and lonely and unhappy because I never lived out my so
living your truth.
Living my truth.
So what would you say
go ahead.
What would you say are some of the differences between like, since you've had both experiences, like dating men and like dating women?
What
are some of like the differences, or like how would you find each experience to be?
So I found that I really had great connections with girls, and like, you know, as far as friends, and you know, we became really good friends all the time. So like, I'm still friends with a couple of my exes because there's nothing there like that, you know. And so if anything, our bond became closer because of, you know, that freeing thing that happened to me, you know. And so um, yeah, so I think that it was definitely different because, again, for me, it was more of like a really good friendship, and it was
Yeah.
just like, you know, a super close bond. And then for, you know, when I not transition when I, you know, made the change to, you know, living my truth, you know, it was definitely I'd say more fulfilling, and it was just more there was more romance, there was more you know, love, there was just more, you know, all those things that you really want in a relationship. And that's how I realized, like, okay, like, this is real, this is what this is supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
And so there was definitely a big difference for me for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think, obviously, this is just like stereotypical, but like women would be like more emotional and men would be more like straightforward.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
and that's exactly how it is. Yeah, they were more emotional, and it was good. It was great. And then guys are just more. They just kind of know what they want, and they just, like, you know, not that girls don't, but they just are very, like, you know, they say it, and they're like, hey, I want to do this, whatever. And that's a good and a bad thing.
Right,
So
right.
that definitely is something that you have to really watch.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I learned throughout the years.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so it's definitely different. It has its pros and its cons. Obviously, there's some times where I'm like, oh God, can I just like go back to girls? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, this sucks. Guys suck. I hate guys. Anyway.
Same.
Right.
Amen to that.
Yes. But let's transition over to you now. I'm going to put the attention on you. And yeah, well, obviously we're not going to have the same types of questions, but I'm just going to ask you to kind of start with a little bit of your history of dating, all the way from whenever you'd like.
So, my first like experience with a guy, I remember I was in kindergarten, and my teacher caught me in the playground like kissing a boy in my class, and that was it. And then you know, I had a best friend growing up. I'm not going to say his name, but he knows who he is.
Yeah.
Our parents were really close, so we were always hanging out, and my mom again caught us kissing. And so that was just kind of like my first like oh, I have like certain feelings for certain people. And
it's a fun time when you realize that. You're just like, oh,
yeah,
I can have crushes, and I can have all these feelings for people, and it's just
yeah, and
great.
Like having crushes on like TV characters and actors and stuff like that, like obviously, but yeah, that was kind of like my first couple of experiences. And like, you know, as a straight woman, I
thought you said street woman.
From the street, country from the block.
Yes.
No, I've actually had experience with like girls, not very like far, but you know, like
playful.
Yeah, like in college, like I just felt like, you know what, like why not?
Right.
Why not?
Why the hell not?
Why the hell not? And I just really knew, like, it didn't bother me, but I was just like, yeah, like I'm not as into this as I am, like, you know. And I'm glad I had those experiences because like
they help you grow.
Right, and they make you really know what you want. And
exactly.
I don't want to be one of those people that's like, I would never. It's like, no, like whatever, you know. I don't know.
Exactly.
So my first boyfriend in high school, he was the worst. Are you trying to kill that fly still?
It's just right there. And if I kill it,
I see it. Just put do it.
What am I gonna do? I
put
can't.
Your arm.
I'm gonna break the glass. I don't know how to
Everyone, David's trying to kill this fly that's like on his glass. Just David.
But the thing is, it's coming to mine and not yours.
Right.
Which I'm
maybe because maybe it knows I don't care about it like at all.
I'm sorry, I completely sidetracked you. What were you saying?
God, I think. Oh yeah, my first boyfriend in high school. He was actually the worst person.
In high school, you said?
Yeah, that was like the first time I had like a boyfriend that was like legit. We dated for like 2 years into college, and
why was he the worst?
Like, he we broke up one time, like, so we went shopping, like, I was at his house, and, like, we broke up. The thing is, like, around this time, a lot of things were happening. Like, I got a car, I was learning to drive, I got my license, and, like, the first couple of places I went to when I first got my car was, like, his house, and whatever. So it was just very freeing. It's like, oh, I have a car, I have a boyfriend, like, oh my god.
Good times, right?
Great times. So we went shopping, and, like, I remember he wanted this, like, specific pair of, like, sweatpants or whatever, and then he couldn't find them, and he got so upset that he, like, broke up with me. He was like, I'm so annoyed, I'm just breaking up with you, I can't even look at you right now. And I was like,
my God.
So that's kind of the stuff that I was dealing with, and I was just like, oh, we broke up, like, 3 or 4 times.
Oh, goodness.
Then he, like, kind of, you know, made fun of my weight, and that's when I knew. I was like, I can't, there's, like, no respect here.
After that I'd be done too.
Correct.
So don't blame you.
So
100% done.
I mean, after that, like, I dated, like, college, you know, Tinder was a thing.
Oh yeah.
My first experience with Tinder was great. This guy, he was in the library of, like, the college I went to, and he was like, oh, I'm on the 3rd floor. I'm like, I'm on the first. What? What is happening right now?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I ended up meeting a lot of people, like, nothing really came out of that until I moved back home, and I actually, like, met someone who I was like, holy shit, I really like you.
In Miami?
Yep. Okay. And then we stopped dating, and then we started dating, like, 3 years later, and then so the thing about that relationship was that I was living here, and I was driving home every 5 hours. Not every 5 hours, every weekend, 5 hours to see him. God, yeah. And he was just like, no, I don't want a relationship. Like,
after all
we had an anti-commitment phobe, you know, and
so it was more of a friends with benefits kind of
thing. It was
anyway.
very much a friends with benefits, except we were really good friends. And
but that's not what you wanted.
There was the benefits, correct. Like, I think we've all been through that, where you try to tell yourself, like, I can do this. Like, I'm trying to talk myself into being okay with something I'm not. Yeah. And at the end, that's just really what, like, kind of made the relationship crumble. It was just like, you know, you don't want to do this, and you're not going to be able to do this. So like, I never was able to understand or deal with, like, people who are anti-commitment. Like,
and you don't have to.
I don't know. Have you ever experienced something like that?
Oh, like, yeah. When I first started dating guys, that's what happened. Basically, all they wanted to do was friends with benefits kind of deal, and I wasn't for it. I didn't want to do that, and you know, I like that fun just as much as anyone else does. But you know, I wanted something real. You know, I wanted a commitment, and that did not happen for years when I started with guys, and it was discouraging. I was like, is this how all guys are? Is it, you know? Because I don't know. I just didn't get it, and so
who does get it, David? Who does get it?
Correct. And and so I had I would say, like, a couple of more serious, like, I guess dating. I wasn't really in, like, a relationship with them, but dating wise, and I wanted more. I wanted, you know, something more with them, and I actually expressed that because I'm not afraid to express it when I feel that, you know, and I'm just real about it. I'm like, hey, this is what I want. How do you feel about it? If not, then okay, deuces. Like, I don't. And so, like, both times they were just like, well, I kind of just want this, and I'm like, okay, well, that's that. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Well, I feel like kind of everyone, like, it's good to go through, like, the friends with benefits thing, because for me, like, you get to it's just a lot of things that you can learn and experience without the pressure of, like, oh, we're in a relationship, or without like, I don't know, if you're both, like, okay with that, like, without the commitment of being in a relationship and, like, the hurt, you know. So, you know, you can, like, I learned a lot of things about myself as far as, like, what I want, like, emotionally, physically, sexually. Yeah, so, like, you just learn a lot, and you know, like, I think
it's important to go through those rough times.
Yeah, and I would like to think that at this point, like, I can kind of see, like, what's real and what's not. I don't know.
It's very true. It's very same here.
Yeah,
like, that's exactly.
You just get to a point where you're like, fake.
Correct.
Fake.
Correct. Like, I'm done. I'm not gonna go any further with you. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's not to say that, like, you know, I've always been, like, such a hardcore, like, relationship person. But like, it's fun to just, for lack of a better word, fuck around.
Right.
Right.
It is. Oh my God. Yeah. And I'm not saying, and we're talking about like dating or whatever, because I've had, you know, my experiences, and I explore and I have my fun, and I love it just as much as anyone else does.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong, I've had my friends with benefits.
Well, and that's like really like
great.
the point of like, just even if you are in a relationship, it's like, if you're not having fun, like, what's the point?
Correct.
You do it until it's like not fun
Correct.
for both parties involved.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So how would you describe your experiences dating in like your 20s? Because I feel like that's different from like high school or like
Well, for me it was really different because it was more of me hiding myself when I was younger in high school and stuff like that. So it was I think it would have been different had I kind of been exploring with guys when I was younger in high school and stuff like that, like I wanted to. And I think that question would have been answered differently, because then I'd be like, oh, comparison from guys when I was in high school to now. But now it's like, oh, comparison to when I was, you know, hiding myself and dating women, to like, oh, in my 20s dating guys. It's like, it's so, it's a harder question.
How did you, and if you don't feel comfortable, that's fine, but like, when did you know that you were like, oh man, I'm really attracted to guys?
No, the first thing I was attracted to was guys.
Right away.
Like that was, that right away, as soon as I had any sort of, for lack of a better word, sexual feeling or whatever, romantic feeling, it was towards a man. And that was like, and that's literally the first thing I remember, because when I was younger, it would be often through like a movie or something like that, and I'd be like, that was what had my attention, was the guy.
Right, and that I think that's what I was asking, like,
girl. And I'm like, oh, but and I always knew it. I was just like, even from a younger age, I was just like, that's what I want. That's what I like. Yeah. And I never paid attention to the girls. I didn't care. Yeah. Yeah. And all the figurines that I had when I, you know, watched my X-Men and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, the only ones that I really cared about was the boy figurines and all that. And so, it was very clear to me ever since I could even know what attraction was, or feel attraction towards something. And so, it's crazy that I had to go through that many years of
well, I feel like nowadays, like, regardless of whether like what your sexual orientation is, like, dating is hard. And I feel like every single person listening to this can agree with that. Like, dating is hard. You're dealing with a lot of feelings from both parties. You're dealing with two whole ass people who are involved, right? So it's like your baggage, whatever that means, your feelings, your
give and take too,
your thoughts and emotions, right? So I feel like that's why dating is so hard. But like, nowadays people are so scared to commit to anything, and like the Tinder generation, the hookup culture, people are so scared to like to say what they want to say and feel what they want to feel. And then like, the more you like someone, in my opinion, what's happening is like, the more you like someone, the more you like kind of push them away, because you're like, no, I can't like this person, I don't want to like this person. And then you're like, oh crap.
Yeah, and it's kind of dependent on your personality and how you are romantically. That's kind of how I am. Like, I am basically just like, oh man, I want to be in a relationship, I want something, and then as soon as it happens, you know, I have a tendency, past events have, you know, told that to be true, but, you know, I'm just like, whenever it happens, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I'm kind of over it now. Right. So it's just like, I always like the chase, and like, it's just like, once it happens, I'm just like bored. Yeah. And that's just kind of my way of doing things that I'm trying to change, because that's why I'm still single. Anyway, moving on.
Well, I feel like with Tinder, like, it's almost too easy.
It is, like, and that's what I was going to talk about. I know that you touched on that a second ago, and I was like, I can't wait till we talk about online dating, because
let's talk about it. Online dating, disgusting yet fun.
Oh god.
Like,
that's been most of my dating life, and it's just, I hate it, because there's not people. It's, first of all, it's hard to tell sometimes, and then second of all, there's like a mixture of straight and gays whenever you go to certain places. It's just like, you never know. And then with the dating apps, you know exactly who you're talking to and what their sexual orientation is. But then it's just like, you know, you could be talking to somebody that can't hold a conversation to save their life. And then you can be talking to somebody that talks your head off, that you're just like, okay, can you stop talking? I'm annoyed by you. It's just like... And
then that person is a dud when you meet them.
Right, exactly.
Because all they do is like, because like,
they love being behind the phone.
Yeah, and then they're in person, and you're like, so where was all this sparkling personality when we were chatting?
They felt safe.
Right.
And that happens a lot, and I'm just like, a lot of there's catfishes that happen. Don't even get me started with
First
the
of
catfishes
all,
that
I love that
experienced.
show. Neve, if you're
Amazing
listening, please
show.
sponsor this podcast.
Come be a guest on our podcast.
I love him.
Hey, it's nice to dream, right?
Yeah. I feel like I approached online dating really, like, ridiculously.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, it wasn't like, yeah, like, ooh, let's go have sex and
Yeah.
whatever. For me, it was like me sending witty things back and forth, and you know this because you know me.
Yeah, you show me.
For me, it would be like, I don't know, I can't even think. I should have prepared. I should have brought, like, my past, like, online dating. Like, you know, I just want to be able to hold a conversation. Like, I don't want to just be like, hey, what's up? How's the weather? Great. Awesome. Hey, when do you want to meet?
That's another
It's
thing
like,
where it's like the...
Oh, no. No.
I probably just blew out the speakers. Did you get it?
No, I don't know.
The thing is...
Guys,
it's going
hashtag
down.
fly. Is it the one
fruit
that was...
fly. It's going down. It's an adult.
Adult.
That thing is...
Yep.
It's not afraid of anything either.
Guys, hashtag fly. Hashtag fly.
Hashtag fruit fly.
Hashtag fruit fly.
Hate them. Anyway,
We're gonna
what are
make
you
them
good
at
for?
the Twitter
I
account.
don't know. Okay.
So yeah, online dating. So, and then you meet someone, and then you kind of click. But then this person, my favorite, is the person who hasn't yet figured out all their shit before they start online dating. It's like we meet, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I broke up with my ex like a month ago. We dated for 8 years. I'm fine." I'm like, "What?
Yeah. Yep.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You are the opposite of fine, sir. Like,
exactly. Yeah. The baggage.
Go figure your shit out before you like pour it on me. Like, what the hell?"
Well, some people just like to be in a relationship and they don't ever figure themselves out or even want to. They just want to be with somebody. That's just what they want to do, and they just want to
companionship.
It's that companionship. I know people like that. It's just, and that's their way of relationships. Again, I have my ways, but other people have their own ways, and I've had friends like that where they're just like,
that's the thing. That's like,
take a break,
and I know we talked about this like kind of a couple episodes ago, but like people love to push people away to protect themselves, but we're so lonely. Yeah. So it's like, what are you looking for? And then people are like, I don't know. I'm like, I know. You just want someone to like
to be there with you,
hold your hand, and but like not have anything serious.
Right. You just want that.
Yeah.
And I think you've been through things like that, and so have I.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I once dated this guy who like, he straight up, this was like after I graduated from college. He straight up was like, yeah, like I don't want anything serious, but like come over and we'll watch a movie. And then that ended up like bad, and it was just funny because it was like, I don't know why, like sometimes I wonder, am I dumb? Like, he would be like, oh no, like we're friends, like we'll text all the time, but like come over at 11 when my parents go to bed. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. We don't want to bother your parents. That makes
so smart of you.
Right. That's so considerate.
Perfect.
He's so nice.
He's such a nice guy.
Right. And Absolutely. Then it would be like, oh, you need to park like down the street so my parents don't see your car if they wake up. And it's like, oh, okay. And then his dad wakes up one time. We weren't doing anything. We were just like, we were watching Dexter. This is the reason I started watching Dexter. I know you and I were just talking about Dexter. Yeah. The reason I started watching Dexter is because he would put it on. And he was like, just watch the first episode. Right. So we were watching Dexter. His dad wakes up. He like knocks on the door. Yeah. And he's like, "Can you go in the closet? Can you go in the closet?" First and last time I ever get shoved into a fucking closet.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the dad was like, "What's the ruckus out here?" He was like, "Oh, sorry, I was just watching football." He was like, "Oh, okay, keep it down."
Oh Lord.
Right.
That's weird. I don't like that. That makes me feel uncomfy.
Then in college, I was dating someone who was like quote unquote the manager at Chipotle, and I just think he had a Chipotle hat, so I believed him. So like we met, like it was like one of these things.
It's right there. Yes.
Did I get it? That's
it, right? That's it, right?
Yes, guys, we got the fly.
Hashtag
got the fruit fly. Okay. Yay! So like we matched, and like it was like after the bars, like there was like a whole strip of bars. You've been to FSU, you know. Yes. The bars. Okay, so he was like, yeah, like I live right behind the bars, like come over. So I do, and we ended up, it was late, so we ended up like kind of like cuddling and falling asleep. And then in the morning, it was like maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, hey, I gotta go. I have to like go work.
No.
And I'm like, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then I leave. He like gets in the car. I don't know where he went because Chipotle doesn't open at 5 a.m. So Chipotle opens at like 10 or 11. Am I wrong?
No,
Like
yeah,
11.
And it would be weird to have a shift starting at 5 even if you were opening. If it opens that late.
So you're fake and a
AF.
liar. And I was just like, oh, that makes total sense. See, like, sometimes I just...
What a responsible guy.
Look at him going to work.
It's just so... Stand up guy.
Round of applause. Even just talking about it, I'm like, Kenji, you buffoon. Like,
please.
Kenji, please. I'm thinking, like, what a considerate, responsible person.
You know what? We live and we learn. Like, that's this whole episode, apparently. Because we're talking about dating. Hey, you live and you learn. That's what dating is.
And it's funny because, like, all my friends are essentially getting engaged, and all I have is, like, Tinder stories and like whatever. I mean,
That's not necessarily a bad thing,
I am in like a really like good and like loving relationship now, but like it's just funny to look back and be like, what? How did you get here? I'm glad I did, but how did I get here?
The thing that matters is that you did get here. So that's what we're gonna focus on.
So I don't know why I'm just like spilling secrets now.
That's the point.
The first guy, like, shoved me in a closet guy. # shoved me in a closet.
Yep, there you go.
Not in a fun way.
Anyway, what were we saying?
I remember I came home I went on a family trip to Canada, and I later, like, that day, drove to my friend's house. The one with the butter. In our last episode, you know, the person who doesn't like the refrigerated butter, this was her. I was at her house, and then like that guy, we'll call him Jay. Jay was like, hey, do you want to come over later?
Yeah.
Obviously after my parents go to sleep because I'm considerate. And I was like, of course. And I was just like, hey, oh no, there's another flag. Did I get it?
No, you didn't.
No, # another flag, guys.
Are you sure the one that you got first was a fly?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. What's happening in your apartment?
It's the attack of the fruit flies. Okay.
So what did I do? My friend was a loyal ass bitch. And she was like, hey, if you need to shower, because I know you just got off a plane, there's a fresh razor in my bathroom. There's shampoo, conditioner, soap. The real. Shout out to you. You know who you are. And if you don't, I know you're going to text me about this. But shout out to you. And like, those are the moments that I'm just like, yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So, up till now, what has been your, like, I guess, craziest, like, experience while dating? Oh, you had a psycho boyfriend.
Oh.
Yes. Damn. Let's talk about psycho boyfriend. We don't have to call him M.
That's, yeah. MNLOP. So, great person. But yeah, I have no hate. But yeah, they were pretty. They had their ways. They I don't even know how to justify. I'm trying to justify.
You don't know. No.
There was just a lot of things. Again, no hate, but there.
No hate, dating, just facts.
Just right.
State the facts.
No printer, just facts. There was a lot of things that happened, and
yeah. Well, start from the beginning. How did you guys meet?
So this was essentially my first boyfriend. So
like,
there's that, like boyfriend, first relationship in general.
Like
yes.
Illy too.
Yeah, what's that?
Illy ILY. I love you. What?
Are you so hip? All right, so
I'm with the cool kids, David.
Yeah, you got it. You got the lingo down. So yeah, we just started dating, and we started talking over some app. I forgot what app it was, and then this was like in 2018, and then we met, went on a date, and then from then on we kind of just started seeing each other like all the time. Like we just like started going on more dates, and then going over to each other's houses, and we had a good bond going. But then like literally 1 week in, there was like already an issue. So there was already a red flag. And
don't you love ignoring red flags?
Oh yeah, because that's exactly what happened.
They're big and bright, and you're just like.
And then your friends tell you, and then you don't listen.
Wave at the flag.
Yeah,
there it goes.
You're like, yay.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then so the first red flag, they had said something to me that was very offensive, and they knew that was a very offensive thing to say to somebody, and I was just like, how do you feel good about like saying something like that?
Right.
And like I made it obvious that I was upset about it, and they were just like, oh, I don't really get, like, I didn't know you were upset about it. I don't really get why. And I'm just like, okay, well, I just don't disrespect people like that. Like it's just not a thing you do.
There has to be, like I said, basic level of respect.
You can't just say whatever you want to people, and especially something like offensive. It's offensive. It's clearly, if I were to say it, it's offensive. Everyone knows it's offensive.
Correct.
And so, I told my best friend Cassidy, and like, she was just like, hey, like, that's really weird. It's like a red flag to me, and I thought that as well, and I didn't do anything about it, and like I just kept, and then as we would continue to date and stuff like that, like things kept happening like that, and I don't know. It was just, I just feel like once you see the red flag, it's just bad from there. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened.
It's like you can't unsee it. Like it's looming. And there's other things, but the major thing was verbal abuse a lot, and they had their own issues that they needed to deal with, and I could not be that person that would be there for them throughout that abusiveness. I just did not want to be that person. And so 9 months later, we ended up breaking up, and that was completely for the best. I probably have not made a better or wiser decision in my life, honestly, because that was very damaging 9 months.
In certain ways.
9 months is a long time to stay with someone when you're unhappy.
Yeah, and it really it takes a toll on you when it's when there's abusiveness in it, and just it's just it didn't work. So that was that.
Yeah. How do you feel that's affected your view of relationships moving forward?
So at first I was like, I don't want to date anybody. Fuck that. Like I just don't. Like I don't want to date anybody for a very long time, because it was very traumatizing. There's a lot more that went into it that I won't go completely into. But I was done. I was not going to do that. And I think a few months after, I kind of was like, hey, like I don't, I came to a realization after all the depression and anxiety that came with everything that, kind of was residing from the relationship. I was like, I don't need to feel this way. Like I can move on, and I'm, and I can forgive, and I can, and I wasn't perfect in the relationship either. That's not what I'm saying. I wasn't, I always see it from both sides. I'm very diplomatic like that, but I knew that it wasn't right, and I felt at peace when I realized that, hey, I can feel good about this. I can forgive, I can move on. And you can still, just kind of have, like, love a person, like, as a person, and be like, I hope you're good, I hope your life is good, great, but then you can move on, and you can, and, meet better people. And so a few months after, I started to date, and I started to see guys, and it felt great. I didn't feel, like, bad about it. I think it was just enough time for me to kind of just get on my feet and start the dating thing again. So, has anything come of it? No, but... that's another story. But, yeah. What
are some ridiculously hilarious experiences that you've had with online dating?
I've had a few catfishes. So those were probably the craziest.
That's like my biggest fear.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Like, to me, it's like, okay, maybe that picture is a couple months old. You've changed, maybe you have a beard, maybe you don't, maybe you fluctuated in weight, maybe you dyed your hair, something, you got a haircut that makes you look a little bit different. Fine. But, like, you're a whole complete different person.
So, I hate Snapchat filters. And I'm going to tell you why.
David.
No.
What?
So I love Snapchat filters, but I hate them for one reason, and one reason only, is because people like to use them on dating apps and take pictures with them. Whatever the filter, the pretty filter, or whatever that one is, that makes you just look smooth and perfect and slim and slimmer on your face, whatever. And people love to use those. And even whatever other...
The deception.
Oh my God, whatever else they use. I don't know, other apps. I hate them because they're deceiving. Like, you have to just, like, I understand, like, little tweaks here and there to your pictures. That's fine. I do that too. Everyone does that. But, like, when you're completely changing how you look, but then there's also times where I had people send me pictures of themselves and then I meet them and they're not even that person. So then it's like,
then you gotta get Neve involved and
right. So it's like, what's happening at this point? I don't even know what to do. I just want to leave. And I'm a nice person. Like, I don't like to just like be like, hey, like, I'm out, because I have friends that have done that and like I'm like, dude, like, I can't do that. I feel bad, but like I will make sure I go to the bathroom. I call a friend, hey, call me in 5 minutes. Make it an emergency.
Which we have done.
And we've done it.
Well, how do we feel about like a lemon law? Like, should we be able to like a certain amount of time, what, like 5-10 minutes? Within the first 10 minutes of a date, if you're not feeling it, you can peace out, no harm, no foul.
Right.
I feel like...
I think that should be fine. I think we should normalize that. Because
But then it's like, you don't get to know that person. You're, like...
But at that point, if you were being deceived by them in the beginning, then there's no point in getting to know you.
No, of course. But, like, what if you're not? What if you're just not into them?
Yeah, true.
But, like, into them as in, like, oh, like... I don't know, maybe they gained a little bit of weight, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, do you still get to know them? Because, like, 5-10 minutes is not enough to get to know someone, right?
No, not at all. No.
Right.
And so, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to go by
lemon law.
Because I feel like that's a good thing to go by for sure.
Yeah.
In that instance. Because I feel like there's always time, like, you can get to know people, and I'm always about getting to know people, and I don't always judge a book by its cover. I've had situations where, they may not have looked how I wanted them to look, and that's fine, and I'm sure that's happened, the other way around too, and so, but I always give it the benefit of the doubt, and I always want to talk and just like kind of get to know them a little bit. Maybe we can be friends. Like, I don't know. Like, I've met good friends over apps sometimes too. So
yeah,
that is true. Yeah.
Well, I feel like also like, we can't talk about this without talking about like this generation, and I'm not saying like you crazy kids. Like, I'm part of that generation too. You and I both are.
Yes.
The concept of instant gratification. Like, oh, like, we don't take our time to do anything. We want results now, right? And so
absolutely,
we don't take the time to get to know someone, because sometimes, like, when this has happened to me, like, maybe they're not 100% like my type physically, but like the more I got to know them, the more I'm like, wow, I really like your personality. But that doesn't happen in a day. That happens in a couple months. So it's like, because people, I feel like, don't like to waste their time. Like, the concept of like instant gratification and like, I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying you have to go and date someone who you're not attracted to or that you don't like their personality, but like giving people that chance. I don't know. I'm so in between, because again, I am part of that generation.
I think it just depends on what you want. So like, if you want to date somebody because of whatever, then that's fine. Like, if you really like their flow, their personality, everything about them, like, do it. Like, I think that's great. I think someone that treats you really well is better than someone that's good looking but is
a dick.
Right, for lack of a better word.
There is no better word.
So I think that's super important, and that's what I look for more. Is how I'm being treated, because I know what I'm going to give out, but I'm only going to do it if I know that I'm being treated the right way, and there's no exceptions to that. So you can look as good as you want, but. And I've had that too. I've had, where I will talk to some guy, whatever, he's really like gorgeous. Super, beautiful. And then, but their personality sucks. And I'm like, fuck, that really sucks. But also, like, at that point, like, it's not going to go any further. Like, good for you that you look great, but like, you got to work on that personality. Because at the end of the day, that is way more important.
More important. That's what matters, I guess.
And that's what really matters in the end, because that is going to create longevity in a relationship. If you don't have a good personality, if you don't love yourself, if you're just like all about the physical and like you really don't even like yourself, but you just want to look perfect and whatever, then it's just going to be hard for you. You can be really good looking and fit and still love yourself and still have great relationships. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that I've seen people and I've met people and dated people that were like that. And I just like, did not click with them.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you just need to work on that. Work on that, bro.
Need some work.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, I guess knowing what you want is very important in that situation, because I feel like you need to know at that point, like, what you are and what you're not what you are and what you're not wanting to put up with.
Exactly.
Right? So, you know, I feel like, and this is gonna sound really bad, but like when I just wanted to like not be in a relationship and just like have fun, whatever, I feel like I would put up with a slight level of like being a dud.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care that like we can't have a conversation. Or like a slight level of disrespect. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Not disrespect, but like, oh, like they don't treat me as well as they should, because like, but like that was fine because we had this other like thing going on, right?
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, you were able to tolerate those things a little bit more?
I guess, because it doesn't matter. Like,
at the end of the day.
Right. I mean, not that anyone should be like, I don't put up with disrespect now.
Yeah.
Don't. But like, when you're just trying to have fun, I was just like, whatever. Like, if he doesn't text me today, or if he doesn't like bring me around his friends or whatever, like, it doesn't matter. It's fine. So, it's crazy out there.
It's crazy. It's a jungle out there.
This is why I like watching like shows like How I Met Your Mother and like Friends, because like Lemon Law is definitely from How I Met Your Mother, and like one I think about a lot, it's like the hot crazy scale. Yeah. How do we feel?
Hot crazy scale.
The one where he does the chart and he's like, girls can only be, they can be this hot, but they'll by default be this crazy, or they'll be this hot, but then by default be this crazy. And for those of you on the video, you can see me like doing the chart with my hands. The concept of like, and it goes kind of like what you were saying, like good looks and personality.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I think we're both just navigating this life. Like, I'm also kind of in a place where I'm learning to be in like a healthy relationship, because that's another thing. Like, I'm so used to like chaos and like, you know, everything being a problem and like destruction and fighting, that I don't know what a good thing is like sometimes. And so a good guy comes around and they're like, hi, and you're like, what? Mm-hmm. Who are you? What?
Like, this makes no sense. Like,
I don't understand it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I got that. I get that. I've had that before. I'm like, there's no way you're this good looking and just, you know, happy and generous and smart and kind. Like, yeah. But that never works out. It hasn't yet, at least. But yeah, I've witnessed it. I have. And then with some of my friends too. I'm like, you're lucky. Hate you. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, also comparing yourself to other people is never like a good thing. Like, I do that all the time. Like, I used to do that even more. Like, I compare my situation and my whatever I'm going through to like other people. Yeah. And it always happens that like
your situation's always gonna be different.
When I'm single, my friends are in relationships. When my friends are single, I'm in a relationship. It's like
same.
What the
Same here. It always happens that way. Yeah. I'm like, well, good for you.
Good for you. Great.
All right, are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
BuzzFeed. Okay,
guys, so we're going to get into the BuzzFeed quiz of the week.
So, how did we come up with this? So.
I texted you last night.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And I was...
What did I say?
So, you said that Dexter...
No, read exactly what I said to you.
Oh, do you want me to... Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, X that out. Like, no one heard what I just said. So, you didn't hear that. So, she says... No. Yeah, you said, wait. I have to show you something. And you're going to faint. You're not ready. And then I go, OMG, what?
A dramatic reading of my text messages, ladies and gentlemen.
And then I didn't get a message back until this morning. And then... she sends me a picture of Dexter Returns, and then she says, oh my gosh. And then I was like, oh, I freaked out. I freaked out because I was like, this is one of my favorite shows.
All-time favorite shows.
Oh my God, it's
100%.
So good. And I couldn't believe it. Honestly, I didn't believe it.
The thing is, I thought it was fake. I was scrolling through.
Even when you sent it to me, I was like,
I was
No
scrolling
way.
through Twitter,
Yeah.
and I saw this, and I was like, no, this must be like one of those like edited videos. It's like a fan account, whatever.
Yeah.
Nope, the official
It was
Dexter
everywhere.
Showtime, I think, like
Yeah.
account, and I was like, wait.
It was legit.
Oh
And
my
it
God,
is
I'm so
legit, and I'm
excited.
so excited I can't even like express to you.
Are
how
we gonna
excited I
binge
am.
watch Dexter after this?
Absolutely.
Correct. Yep.
Absolutely. Also, we're about to do a Buzzfeed quiz. And guess what the Buzzfeed quiz is about? Dexter. And it is, which Dexter character are you?
Oh,
and
do
Kenji,
me first.
you're going to go first.
Yay!
So we're going to start. So
Wait, can we take bets?
Can we do what?
Take bets on who I'm gonna be?
Yes.
Okay, I feel like I'm gonna be like either Dexter or La Guerta or Deb. Or Rita.
Wait, so everyone? So so which one do you
Maybe
think you're
Rita
actually
or
gonna be?
Deb. I don't know, there's no I don't know.
So
Just
you
do
can
the
get
quiz.
one thing. Who do you think you're going to be?
Deb.
Okay.
Okay.
So are you a boy or a girl?
I'm a girl.
Okay. Next. What would you do if you figured out your child was a serial killer? Would you tell the police? Kid, question mark. Get someone to help them overcome their urges, help them kill, help them get away with it, or teach them to kill for good?
Overcome their urges.
What do you think about relationships?
Ooh.
I don't know. Trust is everything. Can't be too trusting. Have to find the right one first. Too complicated. Or they're okay.
Trust is everything. For sure.
Okay. Which flower do you like best? I don't know how to name these. You have to look at them because they don't have the names. So you have to be like, which one do you which?
I like the white and red one.
Is that this one right here?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a white and red like
It's very pretty.
lotus flower.
If you were a cop and a killer, and one of the cops is getting close to figuring out, what would you do? Don't give up. I would never kill someone. I don't want to be a cop. Blame it on someone else. Get rid of all the evidence. Or let them figure me out. I have had my fair share of killing.
I don't want to be a cop.
Correct. Who would you rather go out with? No one, anyone, a cute doctor, someone who thinks the way you do, or someone that will stand up for you?
Oh, a cute doctor.
Yes. Who do you think you are? This does not mean you have to be this person. So who do you actually think you are of these
This
characters?
does
So
not
the
mean you have to be
characters
this
are
person.
Maria LaGuerta, Rita, James Stokes, Harry, Deborah, and Dexter.
Deborah.
So you think you're Dexter. I'm a Deborah. Okay. Calculating your results.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
You were
Deborah,
right! You're
yeah.
Deborah!
I don't know why. I like click with her.
Okay, so how do we redo this? All right, let's start. Okay.
All right. So, boy or girl? Boy.
Girl. Okay.
What would you do if you figured out your child was a serial killer? Tell the police, kid, get someone to help them overcome their urges, help them kill, help them get away with it, or teach them to kill for good.
Get someone to help them overcome their urges, for sure.
Okay. What do you think about relationships? I don't know. Trust is everything. Can't be too trusting. Have to find the right one first. Too complicated. They're okay.
I'd say trust is everything.
Are you gonna be Deb? Which flower do you like best?
So I'm not gonna pick the same one that you picked because I don't like that one the best.
Okay.
I think that one is the best.
So he picked like.
Also, you didn't ask me who I thought I
Blue.
would be.
Who do you think you're gonna be?
Dexter. Okay, let's keep
Ah!
going.
If you were a cop and killer and one of these cops is getting close to figuring you out, what would you do? Don't give up. I would never kill someone. I don't want to be a cop. Blame it on someone else. Get rid of all the evidence. Let them figure me out. I have had my fair share of killing.
So it's actually between I don't want to be a cop and I would never kill someone, but God, I want to pick something different than you because I want to get
Why?
something.
Just be honest.
Okay, I don't want to be a cop. I just feel like I want to get something. It's fine. What if we're both them? Would you rather go out?
Who would you rather go out with?
Oh, okay.
No one, anyone. A cute doctor, someone who thinks the way you do, or someone that will stand up for you.
The thing is, a cute doctor.
That's the thing. Who do you think you are? This does not mean you have to be this person.
Dex.
Maria La Huerta, Rita, James Stokes, Harry, Deborah, or Dexter.
Dex.
Cool. Calculating.
Who am I?
Dexter.
Yay! Yay! I love him. I'm in love with him.
Star of the
Anyway,
show. He's a blood splatter analyst from the Miami Metro.
Yes.
Ooh, he's very sneaky, and people think that he's a cruel killer, but he actually helps the city of Miami.
He's so hot.
And
Hall. Oh my god.
yeah.
On that note,
We'll be signing off now.
Thank you for tuning in to our third podcast.
Number 3, and we wanted to say again, like, thank you so much for all the love that you've been giving it. It's been really encouraging, and it makes us want to make some more stuff for you.
Make us feel very happy and
Yeah.
loved. And
Yeah.
we love all the love from everybody
We love the
posting and
love.
sending us messages and comments.
And I think as of now, we're going to start doing video pods. So if you want to go check us out on YouTube, if that's more your style, I know it is for me. That'll definitely
We'll
be available.
Posting on YouTube. We'll also be giving you that link in our Instagram.
Yep, everywhere.
You will know how to get to our YouTube to see the video that we are now recording for our YouTube channel. And also, we're going to be adding something in the description of this podcast, and it is a drinking game that we have been trying to come up with since the start of this podcast. And it is basically where...
So we're basically going to do, like, take a shot or a sip every time we say, like, correct, or we say fake, or
hate you.
Every time I say, David.
Or hate you.
Or hate
and
you.
The thing is,
something like that. We'll be more descriptive.
And these guidelines will be in the description. We're going to write down exactly
I'm going to put it up on Instagram.
Yes. And you will be drinking. Because I even now, like us doing the podcast, I was like, I said correct 1,400 times.
14,000 times.
Literally.
Well, we're signing off. Thank you so much for all the love and support, and we'll see you next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.